Hey there LT gamers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom and today we're going on an epic adventure deep into the realm of dungeon management games. Now, if you've been hanging out with us in this corner of the gaming universe for a little bit of time, you probably already know just how obsessed I am in particular with the OG Dungeon Keeper. I've even bared my soul in a video about the wild wish for Dungeon Keeper 3 and the travesty that kind of befell that series. So if you missed that rollercoaster of emotions, go check it out. It's my love letter to imps and that 90s dark humour. But hold on to the spellbooks, LT gamers. We do have something fun and thrilling for you today. Dungeons 4 is around the corner and it's dropping in November, and I for one couldn't be more hyped. So in the spirit of anticipation and celebration, we've decided to dive into the wickedly fun world of Dungeon Keeper-like games. We're about to hand you the keys to an underworld of gaming goodness, complete with our top recommendations. So get those sacrificial chickens ready and stay tuned. And before we dive into the list, of course, drop us a like if you connect with some of the games that we're putting on this list. It really helps us on YouTube. Feel free to comment your thoughts. Have I missed any game out? What do you think of the games that I've put on the list? And then you can always subscribe to our journey if you want more gaming content from us here at LT Gaming. Let's dive in, guys. Kicking things off on this list is a quick dive into the gem KeeperRL. With 987 very positive reviews on Steam, it's a standout dungeon simulator with a twist. Of course, we don't want to play the hero here, and in this game you're playing the role of an evil wizard, diving deep into your dark magics, equipping your minions and raiding innocent villagers, all whilst building your wicked dungeon, of course. So you can switch between this dungeon master role and also a classic roguelike adventurer, battling angry heroes. You can even invade dungeons created by other players as well. So LT gamers, dig deep, construct rooms, craft your traps, train your minions and conduct diabolical research on alchemy, beast mutation, and many more. It's a real dark strategic gem for me, and one that doesn't have a lot of visibility right now, so I think it's good to feature it here on this list. Welcome LT gamers to the captivating world of Legend of Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Manager. Quite a mouthful there. This is a game that's garnered over 3,500 mostly positive reviews, and I would say it's a blend of dungeon management and roguelite that's sure to keep you hooked. So you step into the shoes of a dungeon manager and you're leading your career in the Ruthless Dungeons company. So it's not your ordinary office job, it's about crushing heroes and safeguarding the company's treasures. It might sound a little bit familiar as well. So you hire monsters, you manage employees, and you handle your stock of deadly traps. So you got to navigate through some very entertaining events, employee strikes, things like that. It's a lot of fun. What I would say is it's all about the experience of each run. So in that regard, it's not really similar to Dungeon Keeper, but it very much has that vibe and dark comedy aesthetic, I would say. One to have a look at if you love roguelites. And we will be venturing halfway across the galaxy in our next title, LT Gamers. This is Space Colony Steam Edition, a game with 456 very positive reviews. And I think it's important to say this is actually a remaster of an older game, which I consider to be a bit of a classic of the genre, but it does have a lower amount of reviews because of that. In Space Colony, you are going to be building a base and facing alien threats. Resources are scarce and a mega corporation is watching your every move. But the real challenge in this game is managing your crew. Each colonist has a mind of their own, and keeping them safe, happy, and alive is no easy feat. From dungeon manager to warden, and from minions to inmates, we're diving into the world of Prison Architect, a game that boasts an astonishing 54,000 plus very positive reviews. So LT gamers, it's time to create and manage your own high security penitentiary. In Prison Architect, you play the role of warden, of course, and you're containing the world's most ruthless inmates. So it's not just about building a prison, it's allocating resources, optimizing your compound, and being mindful of all the events that can occur from floods, fires, fights, to even full-blown riots. And this is you know, a game that draws a lot of its inspiration, I believe, and that kind of sense of dark humor back to games like Dungeon Keeper, and it reminds me a lot of it when I play. Not in a strict sense, of course, but you know, a lot of inspiration there, I believe. A huge amount of fun, and I think people who connect with games like from Dungeons and Dungeon Keeper will find a lot of fun to be had in this one. And now, LT gamers, we're going to the very much indie side of the scale, to the enchanting world of Heathlands. This one has 290 plus very positive reviews and is a medieval and fantasy city builder. You're not just a ruler in this game, but you are a king in a procedurally generated realm. And the twist is you don't command your subjects directly, instead you immerse yourself in the city building, resource management, diplomacy, and enchantment. All the tasks of a true king. And you shape the realm as you please, so you can rule with an iron grip, you can be the master of a humble fishing village, it is really up to you. And each character is going to have their own mind and behavior patterns, so it's like a living, breathing world, much akin to the Dungeon Keeper vibe. You can simply watch them go about their business, each with their own unique tale to tell, and you just focus on the macro level if you like. A real fun one, and one I want to highlight as it's not well known. And next we're going to a game that's probably no stranger to anyone. It is Rimworld, a sci-fi colony simulation that's gathered an astounding 142,000 plus overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's like Dwarf Fortress meets Firefly with a little dash of Dune thrown in. In Rimworld, you're dropped into a distant world of just 3 survivors of a shipwreck, and that is where your wacky, dark adventure begins. You take on the role as colony manager, and you're not just controlling their actions, but their moods, needs, wounds, addictions, you name it. Game has various biomes, from forests to deserts, and just about everything in between. So you witness your colonists breaking their relations with family, lovers and spouses, developing those same relations, and it can get really wild when you throw in harvesting of body parts and all these funny things in between. So it's that real continuation for me of that dark Dungeon Keeper humor from the 90s that kind of died off in many games these days. So when you're fending off pirates and giant insects and these ancient killing machines, it is just so much fun. So many things to do in this one, from crafting to taming, farming, whatever it may be. Definitely one to check out, and an all-time classic for me. Welcome, LT gamers, to a world of villainy and world domination with Evil Genius, a game that's racked up a whopping 2,500 plus very positive reviews and sits at 94% currently. Now there is a second sequel to this one, but I went with the original just because I feel like it is a better game overall. It's a lot more authentic. The new one has polish, but this one has the gameplay for me. So in Evil Genius, you're not just playing a game, you're living the life of a dastardly mastermind. From constructing a top secret lair to developing super weapons for your sinister plans. You get to choose your iconic Evil Genius character from a roster of 3, each with their own devious charms. You're going to be plotting, scheming, and pulling strings to achieve total global domination. Huge amount of customization here as well, over 300 items that you can kind of build into your dungeon, or your lair as it were. And you can also get your Evil Genius on with traps and wicked interrogation devices. So much fun to be had with this one, and feels like a modern incarnation for me of Dungeon Keeper. And no list of this kind would be complete without mentioning the Dungeon series, specifically here Dungeons 3. A game that's amassed an impressive 11,500 plus very positive reviews on Steam, allowing you to embrace your inner dungeon lord. And the kicker is that the sequel is about to drop, Dungeons 4, in November, so it's a great time to jump back into this series and remind yourself of what makes this so fun. Of course, you are doing the Dungeon Keeper inspired battles against the forces of good, so uniting the forces of evil in this instance. You're building your unique underground dungeon with a vast array of rooms, traps and structures, and building a terrifying army, orcs, succubi, zombies and more. This one obviously is inspired by Dungeon Keeper, It doesn't quite, for me, have that same dark sense of humor, but it is very fun. It is an evolution in the modern era of how I would expect a Dungeon Keeper 3 to look, for example. Does it quite match up to every aspect of the original Dungeon Keeper? For me, no, but I do think it is a very fun game. I've had a lot of fun with this series. And coming in at number 2 on this list will be of no surprise to many of you. It is War for the Overworld, the unofficial continuation of the Dungeon Keeper series, and with over 5,800 very positive reviews, is going to dive you right back into the art of dungeon management. You're going to keep and build a dungeon, you're going to slap your minions into shape, and you're going to forge an underground fortress filled with devious rooms, traps, and nefarious minions. And you're going to be mentored by none other than the original and best voice of evil, Richard Ridings. For those of you who don't know, he is the man who voiced in the original Dungeon Keeper games as well. You have 6 game modes to choose from: campaign, skirmish, multiplayer, and you can conquer your enemies in unique ways, plus build your own maps using the map editor. This one is an absolute must play if you are a fan of the original Dungeon Keeper series. I felt like it never got the coverage it deserved at the time, and I see this in reality probably as the closest we're ever going to get to Dungeon Keeper 3. There are a few variations, like you don't have the exact same creatures, and I think that's probably a copyright thing, and you don't want to upset EA, of course, but this is probably likely the closest to a sequel we're ever going to see for the series, at least in the near term. Check it out if you haven't seen it before. And atop of our list might have a few of you scratching your head, but it is the fan expansion of the classic Dungeon Keeper FX. It's more than just an expansion to me, it's a labour of love by fans who have taken the classic game and not just spruced it up, but seen its evolution. It's the ultimate Dungeon Keeper experience for me. You can play in higher screen resolutions, you've got bug fixes like the notorious level 10 speed bug, for example, new campaigns, new maps, new creatures, and just everything you would expect from an open source game. And it also has a much slicker interface. To me, it's practically a standalone game and a sequel to the original. But here's the kicker, you do need the original game files to run it. So what I would say, this is really a testament to fan dedication, and I don't think enough people know about it, so I'm happy to promote it at the top of this list. It's breathed new life into a beloved classic for me, adding value and excitement to an already fantastic game. So check it out, visit the link that I put in the description below. If you are a Dungeon Keeper fan, this is a must try. And there you have it, LT gamers, from the depths of dungeons to the vastness of space colonies, and even to fan-driven expansions. We've explored an array of captivating games, all with fantastic reviews. So whether you're a Dungeon Keeper or a Dungeon Master, a Colony Builder or a Dark Overlord, there is a game in this list for you. We hope you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of gaming excellence. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more thrilling videos and adventures, and share your thoughts in the comments below, of course. We always want to hear from you. Until our next journey, may your quests be epic, your colonies prosper, and your dungeons thrive. Happy gaming, LT gamers.